credit to Wichita State, their players and staff. They physically manhandled us in a lot of ways, particularly as it relates to rebounding the ball. We didn't respond, and therefore the result. So, losses are never easy to take. Certainly this one is probably, I don't want to say more difficult, just the way the game went is more disappointing than anything. But I got a locker room full of kids who have pretty damn good character, who feel pretty confident in will respond with a few days to kind of get our minds around this, and we'll be better moving forward.
What do you think it was that made them so much more effective on the glass today?
I think they pursued the basketball more aggressively than we did. They brought the fight to us. We didn't necessarily fight back strongly enough, and there's the result. There were several times early in the game where our guys were trying to slap at the ball, and their guys were going and grabbing it with two hands and grabbing it and pursuing the ball with purpose. And so, that's what happens. It's a great lesson for us. Hard one, but a good one.
Mike, what's the update on Ice?
Still, he's feeling better. I talked to him this morning. The doctors haven't completely given him the go. And part of the challenge is, right, until he practices, it's going to be hard to play him in a game. As good as he is, I don't really make any distinctions on that. So he didn't practice the last couple of days, and therefore he was unavailable today. But he is doing better, and we hope that more time off, more rest will continue to help him in that regard.
Well, you'd like to see him on the court. How much does it help maybe the growth of those young guys who are being forced into the position kind of similar to he was a year ago?
Yeah, no doubt. This is it's hard, right? Because make no mistake about it, he has a presence about himself, and I'm not sure he makes up the 11 rebound difference, but he also makes some plays that gives other guys confidence. And right now we're missing that, and we have to find, maybe it's an opportunity for somebody else to emerge similarly from an emotional standpoint to kind of rally the troops without him here.
How much of this, Chris talked about how with Ice being out, he's had to play more of a point guard role. How beneficial is that to his whole development of being able to play on ball and off ball?
It's probably hard to quantify it right now in the moment. I think it'll probably be later on where we'll say, man, it certainly was good to have that experience now, but I can't see it now. I mean, it's a struggle for us to have consistency and great flow, and he sets the tone for us both ways. He's probably one of the better two-way guards, in my opinion, in the country. And so, these other guys they just haven't been through it enough. So I think, again, I don't know how to quantify how much this is going to help, but I certainly think somewhere down the line it'll be a benefit to all those guys, to him, to Avery, to Keelan. I thought D. Mitchell did a great job coming in and giving us some toughness and some little swag there at the later in the second half. So we'll see.
How much of the rebounding struggles can be attributed to your getting in some foul trouble again today?
Yeah, I'm sure some of it does. I think it was more that they were just more physical than we were. I mean, I'm not gonna make excuses or anything. I mean, they came in here and they took the fight to us on the glass, plain and simple. And credit to them, but it's an opportunity for us to figure out. It's not going to be the most physical team, I don't think, that we face. There are going to be some teams in the Big 12 that can throw some challenges to us on the glass as well. So, again, maybe an opportunity to learn now something that can help us later on in the season.
More points tonight, but this is the second straight game that yours been in foul trouble and hadn't really been a factor on the boards. With how he plays in regards to trying to get blocks, is there a way to kind of get him to understand where that line is to try not to cross it, or is it just depending on the officiating crew you get each night?
I don't necessarily want to get into officiating. That's always tricky. I thought he had passed that. To be perfectly honest, it's kind of been a step back for him here in the last couple games because all of his fouls weren't just trying to block shots. Some of them were just being out of position and fouling unnecessarily. So, the truth of the matter is that's my job, is to make sure that he learns that and gets better at it. And so that's what we'll do this next few days, is go dissect the film, figure out what's happening and why it's happening, and try to make sure it doesn't continue to happen.
They've got finals and they'll still have practice this week, but without having to play a game this week, is that beneficial for you guys, not having to play this week, having a tough opponent on Sunday?
Certainly rather go in the finals off a win. So getting our butts kicked today at home, to me, the season is the same. We have finals are part of it, so we'll give our guys some time to make sure that they are able to study as much as they need to. We'll give them the space that they need to do as well as they can. But, we need to find time to practice and get better. This is clearly a team that, a week ago today, people felt like maybe we had arrived, and obviously that's not the case. We got to get back to the drawing board. There's a lot of room for growth for this team.
Why did you go with D. Mitchell so much? What has he done lately to kind of get that opportunity?
D brings great toughness and trying to think of the word. He takes care of the ball pretty good. Right now, that's not a strong suit for us. We turned the ball over. We got 18 today and 9 assists. So I've got confidence that he's just going to get us in position and get us organized in offense. And he's done a pretty good job of that. We still need him to become more vocal, but that'll come with some experience. But I have confidence in him and his ability to help us. He works hard in practice. And, if he continues to do that, maybe he'll continue to play, and his role maybe can grow within this season.
What do you think of Avery today, too? That boost he had in that first half was a good sign after the way he played Wednesday. Yeah,
just trying to find consistency, for him. And I'll go back and review the film to see exactly where those things are. But, that's the whole key to freshmen, is not trying to do too much. And sometimes you can find him trying to do too much. Even some of his fouls are unnecessary. The truth is, at this level of college basketball, you're not going to just take the ball from people very often. You got to learn how to play positional defense and trust your teammates if you do get beat, to come over and help you. And right now, he takes a few too many chances on both ends and gets himself in trouble there. But I thought he was better, but there's still a lot of growth there.
You guys have been really good at defending the three this year. Did they do anything specifically today? 42%, 11 threes. Was that more something different they did?
They got all the offensive rebounds that they wanted. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I read the stat sheet in the first half, and they had 19 second chance points. And I think 4 of them were threes off of offensive rebounds, where you're usually just not in a position to defend that shot. A lot of guys in the paint. And so if you're in scramble mode, those are much more difficult to defend as a second shot. And I thought they did a really good job taking advantage of that.
I think 9 minutes into the second half, they were shooting like 86% from the field that half. Was there something, they were obviously hitting shots, but what defensively was going wrong for you guys?
Everything. We didn't show much resistance. And it starts at the point of attack. We got to be better at guarding the basketball and just stopping dribble penetration and keeping ourselves out of rotation, because a team like that gets some confidence and can space the floor like they do, they wind up shooting a really, really high percentage. I think if they don't go 1 for like their last 12, this thing looks really, really bad here on this final stat sheet. But I credit our guys for continuing to play hard. We continue to give great effort. We didn't execute very well at all, and that's our job as coaches to get that right.
Everyone thinks about Ice's offense, but how much is the defense struggling because he's not out there? You don't have that big-bodied point guard that you're used to.
Yeah, I think it gets overlooked a lot. There are a lot of things that maybe people don't appreciate about his game. I get a lot of questions about his free throw shooting, his threes, and if I'm going in the back alley, I'm taking that dude with me every single time, because as competitive, the more competitive the environment, the better he is, and obviously it's something that that's being shown that we need.
You had a 2-man game going with Lindy and Hitty there for a little bit. What'd you like about that? That was working for a
Yeah, I
bit.
thought the way they defend ball screens, they don't really bring their bigs out on the floor. They kind of protect the paint a little bit more and hit his skill level. Being able to step outside and shoot from the perimeter was something I thought we maybe could take advantage of. I need him to think like me, that he's a really good shooter and that he needs to shoot shots when he's open. He made one, but he also passed on a couple that I thought he maybe should have took.
9 games in, how do you feel Hitty's developing?
It's come along. I mean, obviously the injury slowed him. Really struggled with his confidence, not from his basketball ability, about whether he was going to hurt himself again. And that's typical for guys who get hurt for the first time. When they come back, they're just unsure of how hard they can go, or, man, the last time I jumped and landed, somebody landed on my knee. And so I'm pleased with his development and growth so far. But as a group, all the way around, from my chair throughout our roster, we've got to get better.
Caleb didn't check in, I think, till like 9 minutes left. Just kind of what was the reason for that?
I knew how physically demanding the game was going to be. And the truth is, guys play based off of how well they practice. He hasn't practiced that well, and he knows it. The thing I admire is that he didn't come in pouting. He came in and played with some fire. And hopefully it's an opportunity for him to learn that, you earn your playing time, every day in practice. And something that maybe not that he's not used to because his high school coach didn't do it, but, he was able to overcome maybe some things or lack of focus sometimes because he's the biggest, longest guy on the court. Just stand in the paint and block shots. Well, that's not the case anymore. So the attention to detail is something that he's got to continue to grow with.
How did you guys respond in practice the last couple of days coming off their first loss?
I thought practices were pretty good. I don't think we practiced great on Friday. We were better yesterday. We were off on Thursday. And so, we played a decent half, and then we didn't play well. I think it's something that translates pretty frequently is, you play how you practice. And I'm not saying we had terrible practices, but we didn't have consistently good practices the way we were having early in the year, which led us to having consistent success. And, it's an opportunity to kind of reflect and get back to that.